Shop Talk.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Shop Talk. We're here today at Heartland Research with Dr. Tom Klein. Dr. Klein, nice to meet you. Tell me, what goes on here?
Oh, we love what we do. We've been doing this for 25 years. We work with clinical research, which means the last stages before medicine is released to the general public. So if something needs to be determined, say a dose needs to be checked, or let's say a bunch of people get put on a vaccine and we want to make sure that everybody has the same response to the vaccine, we do those final checks before it's released to the general public.
So one study you're doing now or about to start is on Alzheimer's. Tell me about that.
Oh, we're really excited about this particular study. We do research in many different fields, from heart to dermatologic to migraines to kidney on, but this particular one, Alzheimer's, is a phenomenal study. It has to do with new things being looked at for the treatment of Alzheimer's, looking for ways to see if we can stop the development, see if we can find people way before they start having symptoms and start treating them long before that. And that's what the focus is of this particular study.
So what kind of person are you looking for to participate?
The people involved with the Alzheimer's study are usually people who have a family history, so you can look and see if people before them have had memory difficulties, and the goal is to find people earlier before they have advanced disease. Prior studies were done that found out that when you have excessive disease or extensive memory loss, that the damage done at that time is difficult to recover. But the new hopes are finding people long before they get to that extent. And so the testing and all the new things that are being developed are wonderful, but they're picking up people in the very earliest stages.
So, Alzheimer's is in the news all the time now, and do too many things get lumped into that aren't really that? Or, how can you tell when it's Alzheimer's?
Sometimes it's very difficult. Traditionally, the only way to know if somebody has Alzheimer's was to do a standardized test looking at mental function. But unfortunately, what we're finding out is that about 30% of those people who are diagnosed with Alzheimer's by that test don't have Alzheimer's. So there's new things developing, blood tests that are coming. There are scans, PET scans that are being done that are much, much more effective in determining who has. And because of that, we're now able to use those tests earlier when people just first start having symptoms and don't even really know. And that's where the intervention is being focused.
So if someone is willing to be in the study, what can they expect?
When they get involved with research, first we have a staff that's been around for a long time, so we are very used to this process. We're comfortable, we enjoy people. In fact, the vast majority of the people that do research are people who've done it before. Obviously not necessarily in Alzheimer's, but in other studies. So they come into a comfortable setting with comfortable people that are very professional, with very careful disclosure of any and all practices associated with the research, very cautious to make sure that everybody's individual rights are protected at all stages. They come with a group of people that are being monitored above by called an IRB, which is required by law. And together with that, they go through a group of inclusion and exclusion criteria. They are asked questions, and then if they match all those questions, they are given the choice of either entering into a study or not doing so. People always have the choice.
So talk a little bit about the safety, because some people might, be a little hesitant saying, I don't want to be a guinea pig for this thing, but it's not like that, is it?
There are different phases of research. Phase 1 is first in human, and what you're referring to is first in human. There are places across the country that do first in human study. We don't do much of that. The first in human that we do is usually only things that are already known, but it's already been used at other countries and other places. But in this safety, in these, there's always people monitoring. There's always people outside of this facility monitoring. The government monitors, the company monitors. There's multiple levels of monitoring. In addition, most of the medications that we deal with are either already released in another country or have been assessed at different levels at different places. We have a choice. We've been at this for 20-some years, and we don't have to choose any medication, nor do we choose just any medication. We're cautious with what we work with, and we have good evidence and good reasons to be so. We're careful.
So Why do you like this type of medicine?
Oh, it's delightful. I get a chance to work with people who have needs, and I can give them free health care when they can't afford it because of the current economic situation. In this particular instance, there is nothing that's even close to the potential of the medicines that we're talking about within the world of research. The future of Alzheimer's treatment is being exposed right now in research. Unfortunately, the medicines that have been there of the past were of very limited benefit and the costs were extraordinary. So I get a chance to do things for people at no cost and still be paid to do it. Who could not like that?
So besides the Alzheimer's study, what else do you have going on?
We work with a lot of different things. Most specifically, we've been working with vaccines for the last 25 years. We work with new things, new forms of the influenza, new forms of some of the things that have been coming around that are very scary. There are a couple types of influenza that came from Asia that had a potential to kill up to 50% of the population. We work with vaccines related to that. We work with things for like Ebola vaccine and other things. Unfortunately, Wichita is ranked fairly high on the terror list, and consequently vaccines in our population are probably more important than they are in others. And there's also other things with heart disease, diabetes. We do a number of medications with the new forms of treatment for diabetes.
So if someone is interested, how do they get in touch with you?
The Heartland Research website, www.heartlandresearch.com, or we're in the phone book. They can just simply look up the number and call us through Heartland Research. And in either case, just give us a call or go online.
And what about your locations?
We have a number of locations. There's in the east side of Wichita in Augusta. We have one on the west side on North Ridge Road. We want to have one up north in Newton, and then our main facility here on Harry and Rock Road.
All right. Anything you'd like to add?
I love my job.
All right, Dr.
I have the best job in the world.
Thanks a lot for joining us
All
today.
right.
And thank you for joining us on this edition of Shop Talk.